Hey everybody, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. My name's Matthew and I post videos every Monday and Friday, so if you love the tingles, then hit that subscribe button because you are in the right place. Now, a little bit of housekeeping because I've kind of got myself a little bit confused. So I've got my little Harry Potter book here, and I wrote down I've got some video ideas. To be fair, I've done most of them that I've kind of come up with. I want to do your guys' suggestions, so we're doing today's video, which is going to be on Junko Furuta, I think. Yeah, Junko Furuta. I think I've pronounced that right. It's Japanese. There's going to be some Japanese names in here that I will butcher. I have listened to the pronunciation and I'm hoping I've remembered the pronunciation. But yes, so obviously today's video is of Junko Furuta. And then I've got the other suggestion of Annie Lee. But I swear someone else has given me true crime suggestions, but for the life of me I can't seem to find the comment. Maybe the person removed the comment. So if you have suggested a true crime case, and it's not Annie Lee or Junko Furuta, then leave it in the comments below. And if you do have any other true crime suggestions, let them know, because at this moment in time, those are the only two suggestions that I've got. So yeah, housekeeping done. I've asked you to subscribe. I've done it again, doubling on my YouTube bits. Yeah, please subscribe. Do give this video a like, it really helps with the algorithm. That's really drive this video. Love you guys. So let's get into the video. So Junko Furuta was just 17 years old when she was raped, beaten and killed by 4 teenagers in the 1980s in Japan. As far as Shinji Minato's parents were concerned, Junko Furuta was their son's girlfriend. The pretty young girl hung around with their son so often that it seemed as if she was living in their home. Even when they began to suspect that her perpetual presence wasn't always consensual, they laboured under the delusion that everything was fine. After all, they feared their son's violent tendencies and his friends' connections to the Yakuza, a powerful organisation, a powerful organised crime syndicate in Japan. But as far as Shinji Minato and his friends, Hiroshi, Joe, and Yasushi, were concerned, Junko Furuta was their captive, their sex slave, and their punching bag for 44 days straight. After abducting her on November 25th, 1988, they I can't even pronounce this word. Oh god. The more I keep trying to say it, the more worse. Oh my god. The worst, I can't get these words out. They tortured her for weeks on end. Finally, on January 4th, 1989, the boys murdered Junko, bringing her misery to an end. The abduction of Junko Furuta. Junko was born in Misato, Satima in Japan in 1971, and up until her kidnapping at age 17, she was a normal girl. Furuta was known for being pretty bright, and getting good grades. Despite her good girl reputation, she didn't drink, smoke, or use drugs. She was quite popular at school and seemingly had a bright future ahead of her. But everything changed in November 1988. At the time, her future kidnapper, Hiroshi, was known as the school bully, often bragging about his connections to the Yakuza. According to some of their classmates, Miyano had developed somewhat of a crush on Furuta and was enraged when she turned him down. After all, no one had ever dared to reject him, especially after he told them of his Yakuza friends. A few days after the rejection, Miyano and Minato were hanging around a local park in Misato, preying on innocent women. As experienced gang rapists, Miyano and Minato were experts at spotting potential targets. Around 8:30 p.m, the boys noticed Junko Furuta on her bicycle. At the time, she was on her way home from her job. Minato kicked Furuta off her bike, creating a diversion, at which point Miyano stepped in, pretending to be an innocent and concerned bystander. After helping her up, he asked her if she wanted an escort home, which Furuta unwittingly accepted. She never saw her loved ones again. Miyano led Furuta to an abandoned warehouse, where he told her of his Yakuza connections and raped her, threatening to kill her and her family if she made a sound. He took her to the park, where Miyato and Ogura and Watanabe were waiting. There, the other boys also raped her. Then they smuggled her into a home that was owned by Minato's family. Furueta's parents called the police and reported their daughter missing. The boys made sure she would go looking for her, forcing her to call home and say that she had run away and was staying with a friend. Whenever Minato's parents were around, Furuta was forced to pose as his girlfriend, though they eventually realised that something wasn't right. Unfortunately, the threat of Yakuza coming after them was enough to keep them quiet, and for 44 days Minato's parents lived in an alarming ignorance of the real horror story that was unfolding in their own home. Oh my god. Seriously, what is with these people? Do you know what? I've never heard of this story, and I've not read this story through, but I swear I hope these parents go to prison as well. Jesus Christ. Over the course of those 44 days, Junko was raped over 400 times by Miyano and his friends, as well as other boys and men that the four captors knew. While torturing her, they would insert iron bars, scissors, skewers, fireworks, and even a lit light bulb into her vagina and anus. Oh my fucking god, these are monsters, destroying her internal anatomy, which left her unable to use the bathroom. When they weren't raping her, the boys forced her to do other terrible things, like eating live cockroaches, masturbating in front of them, and drinking her own urine. Her body, still very much alive at that point, was hung from the ceiling and beaten with golf clubs, bamboo sticks, and iron rods. Oh my god, these people are sick monsters. Her eyelids and genitals were burned with cigarette lighters and hot wax. And the torture didn't stop until Furuta was dead. That poor girl. One of the most tragic things about Junko Furuta's agonizing torture and the eventual murder is that it all could have been prevented. Twice the police were alerted to Furuta's condition and they failed to intervene both times. Oh, this is so sick, that poor girl. The first time a boy had been invited over to the Minato house by Miyano went home after seeing Furuta and told his brother about what was happening. The brother then decided to tell his parents, who contacted the police. The authorities showed up at the Minato's residence, but they were assured by the family that there was no girl inside. The answer was clearly satisfactory enough for the police, as they never returned to the home. Why did they not search the home? The second time, it was Furuta herself who called the cops, but before she was able to say anything, the boys discovered her. When the police called back, Miyano assured them that the prior call had been a mistake. The authorities never followed up again. The boys then punished Furuta for calling the police, dousing her legs in lighter fluid and setting her on fire. On the 4th of January 1989, Junko Furuta's captors finally murdered her. The boys allegedly became enraged when she beat them at a game and tortured her to death. Scared of being charged with murder, they dumped her body in a 55-gallon drum, filled it with concrete and dropped it on a cement truck. And for a while, they thought they would never be caught. The aftermath of a heinous crime. 2 weeks later, the police arrested Miyano and Ogura on a separate gang rape charge. During Miyano's interrogation, the police mentioned an open murder investigation, believing that the authorities were referring to the murder of Junko Furuta and that Ogura must have confessed to the crime. Miyano told the police where they could find Furuta's body. In the end, the case that the police had been referencing had been unrelated to Furuta, and Miyano had unwittingly turned himself in for her murder. Within days, all 4 boys were in custody. Damn right they should be. But despite a mountain of evidence against them and their grisly torture of Junko, the boys received shockingly light sentences. What the actual fuck? Hiroshi was sentenced to 20 years. Shinji Minato received a term of 5 to 9 years. Sho Ogura was sentenced to what the actual fuck? And Yasushi received a term of 5 to 7 years. Since they were teenagers at the time Junko Furuta's murder, their youth was linked to their life sentences. Though it is widely believed that their connections to the Exua also had something to do with it. Had the case been heard elsewhere, had the boys been just a couple of years older, they would have likely have been dealt capital punishments, damn right. Instead, all 4 Fuertes killers were eventually released from prison. It's believed that Watanabe is the only one who has not re-offended since his release. To this day, many in Japan feel that justice has not been served. It damn right hasn't been served in Fuerte's case, and tragically, it doesn't seem like that will ever happen. I'm gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. That poor girl suffered. I've got no words. That's horrible. And no justice was served. They may have got a few years in prison, but after what they did, no. There was no justice there. That's all. That is a horrible case. Poor Junko. I don't really know how to end this video, but I hope you found this case interesting. Be interested for you guys to tell me if you thought justice was served, if you think that their age should have, if the sentence was fair because of their age. Yeah. If you've got any other cases you'd like me to check out, then don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I shall see